This is the Plain English Real Estate Show with your host, Rowena Patton, a show that focuses on the real estate market in terms you can easily understand. Call Rowena now. The number is 240-9962 or 1-800-570-9962. Now here's the English girl in the mountains, the agent that I would trust, Rowena Patton.
Good morning and welcome to the show. This is indeed Rowena Patton here with Randy Houston, my amazing producer. Say hi, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
I knew you were going to do that.
Of course.
Good
morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us.
I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah.
We were just talking about our new book that's coming out.
I'm so excited to hear that.
It's really exciting. So it's all around the cash CPO program and the number of programs that we have agents becoming expert in. And that's the divorce CPO and assisted living and estate sales for sale by owner or FSBOs, foreclosure, relocation, retirement, and of course the traditional sale as well. And there'll be all of those chapters that help people who are in all of those situations. And of course it's about real estate because we can help people move their real estate without being beholden to all those repairs and all the money that they have to pay out. And usually when you're going through anything like that, the last thing you want to think about, or nobody wants to think about repairs. No. Honey, you know that honey-do list that I've had for you for the last 16 years? And it's funny, so many of the people, all these things get done and they go, oh, I kind of like my house again. Maybe I want to stay. So, yeah, that definitely has happened before. But yeah, this is a really great way to have somebody else up front the money for it and just get it all taken care of without all the hassle.
Have you ever had any husbands to say, honey, you were right with that list for 16 years. I should have done that 16 years ago. You're right.
Probably. Isn't that what husbands say?
They should.
Isn't that, what goes on, I think?
That prevents the divorce CPO.
Well, sometimes, actually, I've been there a couple of times where the lady, it's been the lady both times in the relationship, has just been tired of living in a house, not where things aren't done, because I think often people get into arguments about that, you haven't done the block, whether it's taking out the trash or actually, doing something on the home, people get in arguments about that. So I've definitely seen a couple where one in particular, the guy was a bit of a hoarder and the roof was leaking and all kinds of things were going on. And he wasn't fixing anything and hadn't been fixing anything for a really long time. Now, of course, all the men out there are going, why is it our job? Well, it's not. And you talk about it together. You're supposed to be a partnership and, figure out, do you have the money to do it? Or can we get Bob down the street to do it? Or your brother-in-law's handy. Can we get him over? Or your sister-in-law's handy or whatever. Or somebody offered us a bit of special D. You're supposed to figure all that out, not just live in a house where, you got leaks and there's mold coming down. And
adversarial, no.
Yes, and it becomes adversarial. It's like the pile of clothes that are at the, the end of the bed or the wet towels. Some rolling eyes going on of listeners now. I know some wet towels that are left on the floor in the bathroom. What else is the stuff, Randy, that people argue about?
Oh, gosh. It happens. Well, I like my old couch. I bought that 25 years ago.
Oh, Lord.
New wife, why do you want to throw that out and put yours in?
That's in the beginning.
Yeah. It's happened.
Is that from personal experience?
I've read a book. Yeah, I read a book.
You know what that makes me think about? Frasier.
the recliner.
Yes. And we just watched the one last night where Frasier got really ticked off, picked it up, and threw it over the balcony and almost hit Niles.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually, so his dad Frasier actually bought most expensive piece of furniture in the entire condo now was this new couch. There was a very funny line in there about, do you remember it was that nasty stripy, tan and green and brown stripes on it.
Duct tape on it. Yeah.
Well, Frasier called the manufacturer and he said it was very funny. They actually finally admitted that they made that fabric. he got the fabric and he had it remade for his dad and delivered, and he said it was the most, and of course he had all this expensive, Frasier had all this expensive furniture and,
I still love that show.
Me too.
I still love it.
I know. It's
all the episodes are on Netflix.
I know.
Binge them.
It's
I love
so
it.
fun.
Yeah.
You can get it on live TV. Our internet went out last night, so we had to watch live TV, and it's like, oh, Frasier, let's watch Frasier. It was very fun. So I am very excited today. We've got Rob Kittle from Colorado, and I think I just locked it, Randy. Sorry. We're all good.
Okay.
We're all good. From Colorado. He got up early to join us. He does have a book on divorce, and he's coming on to talk about divorce CPO. He's one of our cash CPO experts. He's one of our divorce CPO experts, and handles all kinds of other certified pre-owned homes too. Rob, good morning. Thank you for getting up to be with us today.
Yeah, good morning. I'm happy to be here.
That was awesome. And you have a book on divorce, correct?
Yeah, I've just noticed that that when it comes to divorcing, the real estate becomes obviously one of their largest assets that becomes a fighting point, and so trying to figure out what to do with that asset, trying to get it sold for top dollar in the easiest way possible for them, so that they don't have to have that be a stress during the divorce.
Mm-hmm. And all that disentangling that goes on. I mean, you've got joint possessions. You've got, well, I bought that picture. No, I didn't. You bought it. The home obviously is ground zero, right? And then you've got pets. I mean, have you seen custody with pets? I have.
Oh yeah. Everything becomes a battle. It doesn't matter how big or how small. They want to fight over it.
For the break, Randy, you're going to have to find Battleground. Isn't that Patty, whatever her name is, Battleground? Am I wrong? I don't know. I think there's a song on that. So it's ground zero minefield, right? It's crazy. So let's go right back to the beginning, Rob, right back to the beginning. I feel like I'm talking about Adam and Eve now. So the first time somebody reaches out to you, they are thinking about a divorce, or it's a friend that's thinking about a divorce, and like, how on earth do we even start this? Or when do you usually get to hear about it?
Either through attorneys who refer me, or it could be through a referral or past client. But it's really important to establish that the realtor is not taking sides, because they, a lot of times they're like, well, that's, their realtor, that's my realtor. And, you really want to be Switzerland in that case, and not be on either side. And the cash CPO program really, helps us to establish that neutral ground, and so that everyone takes a step back, they could exhale, and again, not feel the stress of feeling like that the realtor is taking sides, because that's also could become a real big problem.
I remember having, you're exactly right. I remember having Laurel Starks, who is a real expert in divorce, on the show once, and she used to be an attorney, so she's got all that attorney background as well. And she's actually featured in my book. And she said the first time she went into a divorcing couple, the guy said to her, "You're going to list the house over my dead body." That quote's actually in the book. I'm glad I actually remembered it there. I had to think about it for a minute. But it's true, isn't it? So in case you just tuned in, we have Rob Kittle from Fort Collins, Colorado today. Obviously, it's only just gone 7 o'clock in the morning there, so thank you so much, Rob, for joining us. I'm Rowena Patton, All-Star Powerhouse over in Asheville, North Carolina. We're talking about divorcecpo.com today. You can get all of this information. We have hundreds of agents all over the country, and these just aren't any old agents. So you're in Fort Collins in Colorado, Rob. You're the number one agent, I believe, there. Is that correct?
Yeah, and have been for decades. But yeah, we've built a team around the real estate, and really this is kind of interesting, is that really got my start through a divorce attorney referring me business, and that's really how I focused on divorce, and knowing that it does take a special skill in being a realtor to be able to handle that situation, and having the right tools to help a really stressful situation and
Yes.
time in their lives. And to be able to communicate properly to both parties in a divorce, and to really help them get out of their own way and move forward, and not have this be a contentious part of the divorce proceedings, which is obviously very stressful.
Of course. So when you look at all of the stress scales, all the famous stress scales, divorce takes the number 2 position. Death of a spouse takes number 1. So, sometimes obviously the number 2 stressor, you're wishing for the death of your spouse when you're going through a divorce, probably. But, oh my gosh. And then, of course, you've got loss of job after that and everything else. So, no, this is really interesting. So, you got to learn about it. How long have you been in real estate, Rob? You look like you're 29.
Since 99, actually. So yeah, quite a while now.
Wow. Yeah, so 24 years. You're about to come up to your 25-year anniversary.
It's exciting, yeah.
Why did you get into real estate? Did you have a real job before real estate?
No. I was a hydrology major and moved to Colorado. I went to school at UC Santa Barbara, and I always I bought my first home in my early 20s just because I always knew that real estate was something I was passionate about, but I had a whole different career path, and so it was in my late 20s that a friend of mine got his managing broker's license that I really respected, and I said, "Wow, that tell me more," and the rest is history.
Wow. Okay, so you've obviously how many divorces do you think you've experienced? Not your own, of course.
Yeah, not my own. I'm well over 100, I would say. Yeah, that's just like I said, it's been something I've been focused on, and it isn't something, having the attorneys know that I do a really good job with the clients, that they've been getting the feedback of how much I've helped them get through that piece, has had them become raving fans of what I do and how I do it. So that's really how most of my business from the divorce side is generated. Not so much past clients, because a lot of times, again, they feel like I got to know them through one of the spouses, and therefore I'm going to take sides. So that is, is one of those problems that they really, like I said, first step to overcome is that I'm not going to take sides. I actually had a gentleman that was that called me from my radio program and wanted me to represent them in the divorce, and so I ended up, was able to become their realtor, and she really thought that I was going to be on his side, but he started causing all sorts of problems and was playing games, and I just went to his attorney and said, "Hey, here's what's going on. This is not acceptable, and please have a conversation with our client and get him get him to make the right decision here, because he's causing problems and playing games." So it really is about keeping both parties playing by the rules, and not using the asset as leverage, and not allowing showings or doing different things that would prevent the home from selling. So yes, the CPO program really helps with that as well, to establish a neutral ground and help them to move forward, which is the goal.
That's fantastic. If anybody's listening around the country, then we know we have listening around the country. We've got listeners in all kinds of countries. Actually, I track it every week. It is sort of interesting to see how all those countries are watching. But anybody in this country that's listening can find any of these details at divorcecpo.com, divorcecpo.com. We've got hundreds of agents now all over the country. We've most likely got your area covered, where agents like Rob know what they're doing when it comes to divorce and how to step back and become Switzerland. I love that, Rob. Become Switzerland, and have that new. It could be Costa Rica too. They're all neutral as well. Did you know that Costa Rica and Switzerland? Isn't that bizarre? A little far away, but Switzerland has the mountains, and you have the mountains, and we have the mountains. So let's keep the mountains in our family there. So divorcecpo.com, that will send you back to Rob if you happen to be where Rob's at, or if you happen to be where we're at, or anywhere else in the country. If you're in Fort Collins, obviously you want Rob. He's the number one agent there, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to a divorce. And basically anything else that you're going through. You might be doing a for sale by owner. You definitely want to call Rob if you're over there. We've also got FSBO CPO, because this all makes it very easy. But let's go back to helping people that are going through a divorce. So let's look at what you mentioned, games that people play. So what kind of things do you see so that people can watch out for this when they're thinking about going through a divorce, and what to watch out for, and maybe have that conversation up front? What kind of things do you see, Rob?
Well, a lot of it comes down to, the financial burden, and that's a lot of the reasons why people are going through a divorce is, financial problems. And so when it comes to selling the home, is the home in marketable condition, and what decisions do they need to make? And of course, they could never agree on anything, and that's when having a good realtor come through to help figure out what are those things and give advice to the court. That's one of the things that a good realtor will also be able to do, is to testify. And I've probably testified 10, 15 times in court.
Wow.
To either the value of the home, what repairs need to be done. There's a lot of times where they need to bring in an expert, just like in an expert witness, that testifies in court. A realtor could be that same trusted expert to help things move forward. And a lot of times, I do that for free, just to help them, move forward, and really to help the attorney. And that's another reason why the attorneys will refer me, is that I've helped them, get through a sticky situation and help them by testifying to either what the value was, 2 years ago, when they first initially got separated, and so there's a lot of help that a realtor could do to provide to the attorney, to the divorcing couples, but really establishing what is the value, what's the value in today's condition, what is the value if we did add some carpet and paint, that or fix the holes in the wall, or replace the broken doors that have been kicked in, and that kind of thing. So sometimes divorces aren't a friendly divorce, and the house can be the punching bag as well, and have some bumps and bruises from that, and so helping to identify and establishing a game plan moving forward from the first meeting all the way through the closing table.
And it's an interesting point that you brought up there. So you've often got one party. So that's been most common in the people I've helped through this. One party wants to stay in the house, and there might be kids involved and pets involved as well, and they just want to cling on to the house. Obviously, when you're getting divorced, you're really halving your finances and often halving your financial ability to pay for anything. So do you ever help people who, where the spouse buys the other person out and the other person moves on, or do most often they sell the house? Is that what you're seeing?
Well, yes, particularly now. I think that before, 2 years ago, when rates were, below 3%, that a lot of people would be able to still be able to afford being able to refinance the other person off the mortgage, and be able to give them their chunk of the equity, their half of the equity, whatever it may be, and still be able to keep the home. The divorces that I've been seeing here recently has been much more challenging, where neither one of them can afford to give the other the half of the equity, and then also have rates in the sevens in today's world, and be able to still afford it. So that has become, unfortunately, why more and more divorces are ending up with selling the real estate, because of they needed the dual income to be able to afford it, even at the lower rates. And now that the rates have doubled, that's become an increasingly larger problem in being able to keep the property. So it's sad, because the real estate, we all, being a realtor, we know that real estate's a great asset and should be kept. It's just the rates have gotten to a point where it's become more likely to have to sell that asset.
And this is why I love talking to you, Rob, because getting the background on all of this, I think, can really help people who are going through this or may have friends or family going through this to really understand what's going on here. So if we think back just a couple of years ago, we came out of COVID. I mean, people say we're going back into it again, but we came out of the big thing we know as the, COVID gate, where people were staying at home wearing masks. Lots of people were forced together. We had a real uptick in divorces out of that, because I think two things went on. One is people said life's too short, people are dying, and the other one is they're stuck at home with their spouse, kind of like what happens when you retire, right? And then a lot of people thought about divorcing. Have you seen that, like, coming out in this last year or two from that? Do you think that had any causes on top of the interest rates going up so rapidly?
Without a doubt. Right now there's a lot less homes hitting the market in general because, I'm committed to my 3% rate. I would love to move, but, this rate is so great. That's probably the number one committed relationship that people have these days. It's not necessarily to their spouse, but it's to their mortgage interest rate. I mean, that's their most committed relationship.
Wow.
Right? So, bad joke.
No, it's not. It's true to their interest rate. I'm writing this down. I love that.
Yeah, it is their most committed relationship. I am never going to divorce my mortgage, right? So my mortgage is my most important relationship because it's so valuable, and so people aren't divorcing that. They're not moving forward, even though they may want to. They're going to make this work, and they're going to keep their 3% rate, even if they would love to downsize. Their payment would be more expensive today because even if they're downsizing to a smaller home, their payment might be higher just because rates are so high.
Yes.
So people are staying put, right? So there are not as many people that are selling right now. But the ones that we are having, they are motivated sellers. The people that are moving right now are doing it because they have to.
Yes.
They're not doing it because they want to, because they're now divorcing their interest rate and getting a higher one. So, yes, a high percentage of sellers and homes that you see on the market right now, they are motivated sellers. They're selling and moving because they have to. Some people are, they are cash, and so that they are selling. It doesn't matter. They're not. It's the interest rate isn't an issue. So those are kind of the other big bucket of people that are moving, selling and buying right now, or are selling because they are cash. They have enough equity in their home that they could sell it and pay cash for something else. So today's interest rates don't matter. And then the other tranche of sellers are the super motivated because they're getting a divorce. Mm-hmm. So those are the two major groups of sellers right now. So we do see an uptick of motivated sellers that are a lot of divorces, unfortunately.
And then you've got relocation that goes on, and perhaps you're going through a life change. And so I have a friend right now who just lost his job in healthcare, a very prominent job, actually, because that's what's going on in a lot of healthcare, where they're pulling together 13 hospitals, and now they've got one top of the rank instead of 13 top of the ranks. And he and his family, the kids are just out of the house. They just got a contract on the home, and they're moving to another state because they can. And he just turned 60, and now he can move somewhere else. So we've got the whole relocation CPO as well. And the other one I'd build on there for you, because you're exactly right on those, is assisted living. So we have so many baby boomers out there that are on a list. So that's anybody 59 and up, right? So if you're 59 and up, you're in that boomer crowd. That's one of the biggest groups of people who will need to sell at some point. So you're on a list somewhere for, it's maybe not even assisted living. Most of these assisted living facilities now allow you to either buy or rent an apartment, basically, when you're downsizing. Maybe you've lost your spouse. And then you can go through the 5 steps. You go in, you don't need any help, or they have a canteen where you can go and eat dinner, or, pay that bit extra money, all the way through to step 5, which is getting full help. So a lot of people are on those lists. And when you're on those lists, oh my gosh, you get 30 days if you're lucky to sell your house. So that's another way we can help. when you've only got those 30 days, we can get you out and get the majority of your money out right away. And then you can wait for the check on the rest of it as we spruce it up and you don't have to pay anything. And we're going to get into that in the second part of the show. And Rob and I will tell you how it all works. I do, you did talk about not divorcing the interest rate. They say date the interest rate and marry the house. I was speaking with somebody that Randy here knows, the producer actually, that retired. I think you might know who I mean here. He left his $800,000 house that was an older house, and they'd been in it for many, many years, raised their kids there. They bought a house in the 400s, brand new, in a neighborhood, half the size probably. I spoke to him just the other day and he said, I am so glad you encouraged me to do that. And his wife definitely didn't want to move. They've met all kinds of people in the new neighborhood. She absolutely loves it there. It's a newer house. It's going to keep them safer if they decide to move in 3 to 5 years when prices are probably going to come down a little bit. But they don't have any maintenance. They don't have anything to do. And he's like, thank you so much for encouraging me through that, because they did right size. And yes, their interest rate may have been higher. However, they're just much happier. It's not all about money. My gosh.
Yeah. Now you mentioned quite a bit there. I used to have a radio program that was Senior Transitions Talk Radio, and I did that, co-hosted it with an elder law attorney.
Wow.
Specialized in helping our seniors, and transitioning, and it's very, very difficult to do. And a lot of people think that there's, their house is full of the stuff that their kids are going to definitely want.
Yeah.
Well, they don't.
Yeah.
So, but they're holding on, and that causes health issues and everything else. And so, being able to move forward with life, whether a divorce or downsizing or moving to assisted living, or there's all those times in life that happen. There's the 9 Ds of moving. Divorce, diamonds, diplomas. All the Ds that come along with those life transitions that really need some help, and having a good realtor that can help you to figure out what those next steps are, and they are. A lot of times, happy occasions, but a lot of times they are really stressful occasions.
Yes.
And, downsizing, to an assisted living community is, it is stressful, that you've lived in your home for 30 years. What do I do? How do I do it? What's the next steps? And it's overwhelming, because as we get older, we don't have the physical ability to pack our stuff anymore, pack one box and take a nap, and because it's exhausting. So the sooner that you prepare, the sooner that you get an expert in your corner to help, work through those, the process, that have the resources like, divorce CPO, those programs really help to work through those stressful situations.
Yeah, and if you are, maybe you're going through a divorce and assisted living, who knows? We have another one for you, assisted living CPO. We have hundreds of agents who are experts in assisted living. In fact, our very first cash CPO sale was Janet Ridgway in San Angelo, Texas, who's one of our colleagues, Rob, in Rate, and that was our very first CPO sale back in the day, when she helped a family actually whose dad was already in assisted living, and put the home on the market. It was a home on a golf course, and she's going to get $150,000 to $200,000 more for about a $50,000 spend, because the house, it's on a golf course, and it looked like 1984. So the family makes the money. We don't make the money. The company doesn't make the money. The family makes the money. And we're going to go through step by step how that works. We can also help you with preparing for the divorce and having the right divorce attorneys. We have directories of the divorce attorneys. Once you get there, we're going to go through how the divorcecpo.com program works. Again, we've got you covered all over the country. We'll go international eventually. We're getting it right in this country first. And Rob, we're going to take a quick break. I hope you can join us on the other side.
Great.
And we'll see you back on the WWNC 570 in just a mo.
From the 570 Weather Center, this is your Weather Channel forecast.
A low-pressure system is going to result in showers and thunderstorms on this Saturday. Some of the rain may get heavy at times as the high gets close to 77. And another round of heavy rain will move through tonight as showers and storms continue. The overnight low should eventually drop down to 61. Not much of a change to the weather pattern on Sunday, and that's going to mean some more showers and thunderstorms with a high close to 78. A slight chance for an afternoon thunderstorm Monday, otherwise a mix of clouds and sun with a high of 80. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
The countdown is on to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The most massive live music event of the year.
Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Having the time of your life is more rewarding than ever when you visit any MGM Rewards destination nationwide. Dine, stay, play, and earn on all of it. Details at MGMRewards.com. Subject to earning and redemption limitations applicable to certain purchases and in certain states.
Hi, this is Rick, and we sold our home with Rowena Patton at All-Star Powerhouse. We didn't really want to move, but needed to for my job. Our first realtor didn't listen, didn't care, didn't try. Not a single showing in 2 months. A friend recommended Rowena. She saw the hard work we'd put into the home, what it meant to us, and what it could mean to someone else. Next thing you know, it's sold. If you need to get your home sold and not just listed, you need to talk with Rowena Patton. Give her a call at 828-333-4483.
Don't let real estate pass you by with All-Star Powerhouse.
Rowena Patton here at All-Star Powerhouse. Sell it now. Don't wait. Call me at 828-333-4483.
Don't let real estate pass you by with All-Star Powerhouse.
This is the Plain English Real Estate Show with Rowena Patton on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Welcome back to the show. RealEstateNewsRadio.com. Link to listen anywhere. If you've got friends who are going through a divorce, you can tune in anywhere, even if you're on Mars. Honest, Gov. So we're here with Rob Kittle today. I'm Rowena Patton, All-Star Powerhouse. Rob Kittle is calling in from Fort Collins, Colorado. He's the #1 agent and has been for decades. And the great thing is he's an expert on divorcecpo.com, an expert on divorce. He's helped many people get divorced. He advises you to get divorced. No, not really. No, he knows how to go through the whole program and help you through it. And we've got hundreds of agents all over the country through the divorcecpo.com program, which Rob is part of, that can help you anywhere you're at. So, Rob, let's go through why is a cash CPO offer better, a certified, and you're going to have a certified pre-owned home out of it. Let's start with no showings. It's really fun showing your house, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's and with divorce, that's a lot of it is that one person's living there. Maybe the home doesn't sell as doesn't show as well, but yeah, not having showings and having the easy button for getting your home sold. It's nobody wants to go through the process of getting a home completely dolled up and ready for the market. So having a cash offer, everyone would prefer that. No, I can't think of anyone who says, "Wow, this is going to be fun." The stress of getting a home ready for the market is a lot of reasons why people don't want to sell, right? It's their stuff and it's the condition.
Yes.
And what do I do with my stuff and what do I do about the condition?
Well, the stuff is very interesting because most of us who've been in a house for 5 years or 10 years, are you a minimalist, Rob? I bet you are.
Oh, no. I wish.
You got lots of stuff. What's your stuff consist
I do.
of? What's the stuff that you need to get rid of?
All of my hobbies. I've got boats and snowmobiles and stuff I collect and you name it. And it's a problem. I go to other people's homes and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have so much stuff. And I'm like, I'm inspired to go home and just throw everything away because I'm like, wow, it's overwhelming. People end up with just too much stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. So I actually have 3 bags of clothes in the car right now that I'm taking to a place called Clothes Mentor on the way back, and then I've got 2 tubs of clothes that I'm giving away. Us women are terrible with our clothes. Oh, that was a terribly sexist thing to say, wasn't it, Randy?
Yeah, because I'm bad too.
Oh, I'm in trouble now. I like to get in trouble on the radio show. That's all right. Used to get in trouble for much worse things than saying things like that. So, yeah, I've been through it myself. I actually went through a divorce about a decade ago now. I did stay in the house. It was very painful. I stayed in the house. I carried this big mortgage myself for about 4 more years, which was a really silly idea, and had to make all kinds of repairs. I won't even go there. It was so painful. And when I moved out, I had to move out all his stuff he'd just left behind too. That he couldn't, stuff and things that he couldn't be bothered to move.
Me too. I've been through that.
It was miserable.
If they leave first, they leave all that crap behind.
Yeah, they can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Which is much easier. So I guess the madness in the message there is, if you want to get out, just get out, take the stuff you want, leave all the other stuff behind, and let them deal with it.
Be first.
Yeah, it was not fun at all. And you're going through all the pain again, going through all that stuff and things. You go through pain with stuff and things anyway, because often they're your kids' things that you're going through. And Rob, you made mention of all those things that have been passed down in the family where, as parents, you think your kid's going to want them. Give us some experiences you've had with that.
With what?
With, so every parent thinks that, first of all, the kids want their drawings that they've kept for them for the last 20 years, but also grandma's bed set that's been handed down that probably isn't even antique, when you look at them and go, well, actually, that's veneer on the surface. It's not a real antique. But your mom is keeping that bed set because she thinks that you or your kids are going to want it one day. And it's crunchy old furniture. Have you ever seen that, or give us a couple of experiences of that you've seen?
Oh yeah. It's everyone. They're all. My mom's doing it right now. She's trying to get rid of stuff, and literally just sent a group text to all of us kids, taking pictures of this, outdoor patio set, and said, "Hey kids, which one of you want this?" And all of us were like, "No, not me, not me.
No, thanks.
No, thank you."
And then you feel bad, and they feel bad. Yeah. And so, is your mom right sizing, or what's she doing?
Oh, she's just, she's taken the right steps. She's listened to me, because over the years I'm like, you should start working on getting rid of stuff now, because that does become the problem is, as we get older, people get buried alive in their stuff because they're absolutely certain that their kids are going to want this stuff. And then they're not able to make that move. All of a sudden they're in their 80s and they're buried in stuff and they're not able to transition. And that's why I was talking about before the break was the importance of transitioning and getting into community. People who are in community that are surrounded with people and socializing live longer.
Yes.
So that is the key, is to keep people active, keep their mind active, keep them involved and interacting with bridge groups or and socializing and getting into a great community when you still have your health about you. And so doing that earlier than later, and dealing with our stuff and getting rid of our stuff. There's actually a company here in Northern Colorado called Kid Gloves, and they will help someone transition into a senior living community, and helping them downsize from a 3,000 square foot home into a 500 square foot apartment, and making sure that they know, hey, you're not going to be able to keep your baby grand piano.
Yes.
It's not going to fit in your new apartment. And what are we going to do with it? And helping people to make those decisions and doing it when you still have your wits about you and are able to move and box things up and downsize is important for all of us to keep in mind of our different stages of life and how to do that.
Well, and the funny thing there is, we haven't needed that stuff and those things for 20 years probably. And we just hold on to them because, I don't know, rose-tinted spectacles, we might need it again, or maybe just memories of a life past, or who knows. And talk about divorce and the pain of getting rid of those things. I mean, oh my gosh, you've got some room in your house probably, or it may be your garage that's just full of stuff and things that you've brought in with you, or in the attic that you never go up to and you think you might use it one day. I'm thinking about my honey. We there's a bonus room off his bonus room, actually, that wasn't finished. We finished it off, put lots of shelves in there, and now we've got all those tubs in there, all that stuff and things that we don't know what to do with, but at least it's in tubs and it's organised. So to people, forget whether you're divorcing or going into, assisted living or anything else. Start now, because you never know what life's going to throw at you. And even if you keep the stuff and things, organise the stuff and things, because as you organise it, and I always tell people, I've got a link on my site actually, go look for those big clear plastic tubs, not the Christmas ones or anything else. You can see through the clear ones, and oh my gosh, they make moving so easy. It might be an investment of $300 or $400, but you will clear up so much of the crap out of your house. And as you're organising, you will naturally throw stuff away. In fact, you'll go to bed and think, why did I... now I've got 20 tubs, but at least they're all in tubs and you can see through them and you just mark on the side. And at least they're in tubs. And those 20 tubs used to be 60 before you started organising. And then whether you get, God forbid if you get divorced, or you will lose your spouse one day, and you may well go into a care home one day. You're very likely to deal with, if you've got kids or you are the kids of a parent, you're going to deal with an estate sale one day. And I feel really sad for I do a lot of estate sales, and I feel really sad for the kids, I mean, they're usually 50s, 60s, going through probate and having to deal with the mess that the parents left behind. And what would you say to the parents? Just be straightforward, Rob. What would you say to the parents out there that aren't taking responsibility and aren't getting, like your mom, getting rid of the stuff and things, getting their wills sorted out and... the stuff and things, that's a big job in itself, and you feel much better when you do it. What would you say to the people who are just putting it off today and sitting around drinking their coffee on a Saturday morning? What would you say to them about the importance of it?
Yeah, you've seen it dozens of times. I've seen it dozens of times where people are buried alive in their stuff, and it's overwhelming to a buyer, when they go through a home that has got too much stuff. I've had that on my feedback reports when, after a showing, and the realtor comes back and says, well, the buyer said that it's just overwhelming,
yes.
That there's no way that they're going to be able to get out of there in, 30, 60 or 90 days. So, they're going to move on and find something, because it becomes overwhelming, not only for you, the homeowner, but for someone trying to look through your stuff at your home.
Yes.
That's when a home is professionally staged. They don't bring in piles of totes and stack them all over the house.
Or statues or flowery curtains or net curtains. There's a reason why they don't do that. Oh my gosh.
Less is more. Yes. So I actually, I'll hate to admit this, but I actually had 2 estate sales at my own home just to thin out and get rid of stuff. I'm like, I am never going to use this. Someday I'm going to buy a home up in Steamboat, and I'm going to need this furniture. And so I built an outbuilding because I had so much stuff, and I was, I'm like, oh, now I've got even more room to collect and collect furniture for my home that I'm someday going to own up in Steamboat, and maybe someday never comes around.
Yes.
So it's something that we all do. I mean, I talk to people every day that have got that problem of, they want to talk to me now because, hey, they know that they're going to be selling it in a year or two.
Yes.
And I tell them, great, I would love to meet with you now. They're like, really? You want to meet now, even though we're not going to be moving for another 2 years? I'm like, absolutely. I can help. I've been through this dozens of times, hundreds of times, helping people to figure that out, and I've got the resources, and a CPO agent is going to have those resources to be that easy button, to help organize the thoughts and the process and the systems and the resources in the estate sale companies that could help with doing that estate sale now, so that you could be prepared.
And thank you for being so vulnerable today and talking about how you built an outbuilding to store all your stuff. It's, I think when people get to hear us as real people and what we've been through, we're like everybody else. We're just people, But what we're trying to do is help you. We're naturally wired to help people. That's why there's no way. You may have a real estate agent get into real estate for money. Those real estate agents disappear very fast. In fact, 83% of them have gone by year 3. 83%. Think about that. There's no way you're in this business for this length of time, like me or like Rob, and don't have a servant's heart. We have to, else we probably would have, I don't know, sat in a corner and smoked crack or shot ourselves some moons ago, because it's a very stressful business. We're helping people every day, and that's what we're wired to do. You know, we learn to get very efficient and build systems to do it. So let's talk about divorce CPO. It's powered, of course, by cash CPO, which is, and we'll do a traditional sale for you. We have no problem with that at all. And many people are choosing this because it's like nothing else out there. It's like an instant cash offer combined with a guaranteed sale program, which are the most effective programs for sellers in the real estate business. Most people choose those. So what we do is, first of all, we have to see if your home qualifies. It's anything between $350,000 and $6 million in value. They will do occasional homes outside of those, but those are the broad parameters. You have to have 30% equity in your home. So that is most people these days, let's be honest. And the glory of this is you skip the showings. You don't have to do any repairs. You don't have to do anything, in fact. They will come in and make a full market value cash offer. You get up to 70%. Now, you're all going, oh, yeah, this is just another cash offer where we only get 70%. But no, wait, there's more. It's different. Most realtor cash offers are up to 70%. They're usually 65%. All of the other programs you see out there offer up to 65, 70, maybe even 75%. The difference is this company comes in, they have armies of project managers. They come in, they do the inspection and the appraisal. The 4 that I've got going on right now have all done it within 6 days. We have an appraisal and an inspection back. We know what needs to be fixed. They upfront the money to fix it. They're still talking to you as the seller. Do you want to do this? Do you not want to do this? Because eventually it will come out of your profit. Obviously, they're not going to pay for it for you. That would be strange. However, usually we're listing your home for more because, A, everything's fixed. That's why people pay more for CPO cars. They pay 3 to 5% more because none of us want to do anything these days. Not only have all the repairs been fixed, the home has been appraised. We know the value. And therefore, you got a certified pre-owned home. And we will fluff where it needs fluffing. Maybe it needs new countertops. Maybe the carpet needs replacing. Maybe it needs a new roof. We're putting a new septic in here right now. So, we'll do whatever it takes. Yes, that money comes off your profit, but your profit most often is more because, A, your home sells statistically much faster and for 11% more. So it's really 2/3 of the sellers are getting more than what you would have got with a traditional listing. You're not doing repairs. You're not living through it. You can get your money in as quickly as 12 days, and then you're getting another check when we sell it for you. Rob, isn't it a no-brainer?
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, eliminating the objections before the buyer ever has an objection is key. The 70% in negotiations happens before you ever even put your home on the market. And what I mean by that is, let's fix the hole in the wall before the buyer ever sees it. Well, Rob, do you think they're really going to, care that I've got this cracked window? Yeah, they might not even, but of course I'd fix that if they asked me for it. Of course I'd get rid of the brass light fixtures if they asked me for it. Of course I'd fix the hole in the wall or the broken door if they asked me for it. They're not going to ask you for it. They're going to look at that and say, wow, this is a project, and they're going to assume that they're going to have to take care of all of those things. So if we can eliminate those objections, and some people don't have the resources to do that, or they might own a screwdriver, but they don't know how to use it. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and get the home sold, give you your equity now, and then make those repairs, get it back on the market in an improved condition, with the new carpet, with the new paint, with the fixed window, with the fixed, replacing the light fixtures and some updated, lipstick to it, which is relatively inexpensive.
Yes.
And so that we could sell the home for more money.
And so often you'll find that, especially when you're approaching a divorce, everyone's miserable. Often there's not a lot of money around. But really, in many situations where you've been building up to moving, it starts getting a little stressful. And I know I have people right now who are saying, I'm just going to get that bedroom painted, or I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to do that. And in most markets around the country, we saw a softening at the fourth quarter of last year. right? Last year, not this year. We're already in September, so it's sort of flattening and bumping along and cresting. What's it like in Colorado, Rob? You're in northern Colorado, right?
Yeah, I'm an hour north of Denver, so we cover everything from North Denver up to Wyoming and out to Nebraska. So a pretty large area. But yeah, it's last quarter, our fourth quarter of last year was down 40%, less transactions, and this year's we're seeing it to be very comparable, just because increased interest rates are at a 21-year high right now. So yes, there's less transactions, but there's less sellers, but there's also less buyers. So it's still, we don't see that home values are going down. We're seeing kind of a leveling of the market. We're not seeing appreciation, but we're not really seeing that homes are going down in value. They are taking longer to sell. 2 years ago, we were having things would be on the market, 3 hours or 3 days, and now they're taking, 3 weeks or 3 months. So it is taking a little bit longer now to sell a home, but homes are still selling.
So what would you say to people who are waiting and saying, well, we've just got to fix this and just got to fix that? Do you think the cash CPO program is for them? I mean, will that help them not do anything? And though there are a lot of people waiting, I'm on the phone with sellers every day who say, we just need to get this done. What would you say to everybody that's waiting, given the fact the market has crested?
Yeah, I mean, when the market is a little more difficult, it's the ones that are, when you put your home on the market, you're entering a beauty contest and a price war. So the beauty contest really is important, and winning that beauty contest, you are competing. There are other homes on the market, and it's the one that wins the beauty contest that's going to get sold and get the offer and sell, and sometimes even get multiple offers.
Yes.
So having the ability, like Rowena said, is you don't have to do this program. We could do a traditional sale. But, if you are having issues with getting the property to win the beauty contest, this program works extremely well.
I love it, getting the property to win the beauty contest. And even if you're listed right now, wherever you're listed over the country, our cash CPO experts can come in and make an offer on your home. So if you are listed and you want that cash offer to see how it works, go ahead, cashcpo.com. Just say, find my agent, and we'll put you in touch with the agent, and we can get it going on. There's even a form in there where you can say, get your cash offer today, and hopefully we've got somebody in your place already, and we'll get that cash offer within 24 hours for you. So even if you're listed and you're not winning that beauty contest, like Rob said, I love that, beauty contest and the price war, we can put the offer in for you. Now, once we've fixed everything up and the money's been upfronted, you don't have to pay anything. You've got your up to 70% out on the first tranche. They come in, they remodel, they do whatever it is that needs doing, or nothing. It might just be a deep clean. The very fact that you and your pets and the family is out there might be just a great thing to get you sold, and you don't have to deal with it anymore. So go ahead and take a look at it. Cashcpo.com. If you're getting divorced, it's divorcecpo.com, and see whether it works for you. Everything's remodeled. Rob then, or your agent in your area, relists it, and you get all of the profit minus a program fee, minus the remodeling efforts. You're most likely to get more than you would with a traditional listing without the showings, without the pets. I went through it last year. It was miserable. Give us your last 30 seconds, Rob. I don't know how we got to talk together so long. And the time is up. Sorry, Rob. Kittle Real Estate. Oh, my gosh. Great talking to you, Rob. Thanks for getting up early to be with us today. See you on the Real Estate News Radio show next week, guys. And thank you again, Rob.
This has been the Plain English Real Estate Show with Rowena Patton. Visit Rowena and post your questions at radioasheville.com or call her at 828-210-1648.